Go ahead and get started. I just wanted to welcome everyone here today. I really appreciate you coming out for this. This is really such an important issue. When we look at the what texting and also distracted driving has done and the risk it poses to the public. I'm a recreational cyclist, so I ride the trails. I don't get off the trails, but as I cross arterial streets, I've had so many times over the past few years that I've had really close calls, and every single time it's been someone that's been distracted by their telephone. And it's just something that we really have to look at. It's an issue that's becoming a crisis, and it's so important that we start addressing this. And I really want to thank Gail for stepping out, and through her law, she's been able to bring this to the forefront and make this an issue that people are aware of. So I really appreciate her efforts in this, and again, appreciate everyone coming out today. So I will go ahead and turn this over to Gail Lambert.
First of all, I'd like to thank Michael Spurgeon and Kenneth Schwab. They've taken this and ran with it. They've produced their own signs, and it just took a load off me, and it's just been really awesome. Mason and Sydney would like to thank everyone as well. They're not much into the public part of this, but they're excited, happy, and proud. The first signs went up in Owasso last year on Bobby's birthday as a memorial and reminder to her community, the students and all, to try to be safe. Collinsville noticed what was happening and they asked to join, so here we are now. I think we're in around 65 different school zones in Oklahoma. And I have to say that's without a lot of pushing. It's voluntary, and I believe it's really wanted. The change is really wanted by parents, superintendents, city managers, teachers, principals. It's just amazing. And even teenagers, students are pushing for this. So it's wanted. It's really special in Broken Arrow because this was a special city for Bobby. She graduated here, and so she had good memories and close friends here. And sorry, one time I would like to do this. So Broken Arrow is a real big deal to all of us, and I thank you. And we're hoping that this campaign is a stepping stone to showing our children that they need to make better choices and what the consequences could be in those choices in their future. And the lives of loved ones, friends, could benefit from making the better choices. So that's what we're hoping. I appreciate everyone being here. I feel like I've said everything, but I have so much to say. It's hard, but I think Dr. Dunlap has some comments as well. Thank you all very much.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'd like to thank Mrs. Lambert for taking something that was a tragedy, the loss of her daughter, Bobby White, and turning it into something positive that will hopefully save the lives of many other people. On August 17th, we are getting ready to start our new school year. And with that, we have over 19,000 students who will be on the roads. So with that, we also know that at least 8,000 of those will be either walkers, they'll walk to school, or they'll be in a car with a parent or sibling or family member. So with that, we know that they don't always make responsible choices. They're kids. So it's up to us as the adults and the responsible citizens to make good choices. So we are urging our Broken Arrow citizens to put down their cell phones. Put it down, because no text message, no phone call is worth a child's life. So, Broken Arrow citizens, please put down your cell phones. Let's have a wonderful and safe start of the school year for all of our students in Broken Arrow and the entire Tulsa region. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to one of our high school seniors, Piper Tully.
Thank you, Dr. Dunlop, for that introduction. Good morning. My name is Piper Tully, and I am proud to be a senior here at Broken Arrow High School. I know the reputation that my generation has for being so phone addicted. This addiction stems from the excitement we get when our phones ding or light up. This excitement released in our bodies is called dopamine. Dopamine causes us to seek out, desire, and search until we find what we've been looking for. This makes sense when you think about how often people check their phones, even when nothing is there, especially in the car. The fact is that we can all listen to the rest of that song we're about to change. We can take that picture when we get to the parking lot, and we can send that text when we get home safe. Some individuals struggle with this realization and end up causing hurt in families, lives, and even communities. Unfortunately, a moment of this struggle caused the passing of Bobby White. Miss White happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, but her legacy has become so right. Every time we get in the car, we take on a responsibility. This responsibility isn't only to keep ourselves safe, but those around us as well. High school-age kids have a hard time accepting this task. Speaking for myself and millennials alike, we always talk about wanting to be the change we wish to see in the world. But how can we be this change when we are being so reckless? I want to ask my friends, let's not be those people anymore. In Miss White's case, the person at fault didn't happen to be a student, but what if it was? What if one of us were to make an accident such as this magnitude? I am so pleased to know that Broken Arrow school zones will be getting signs to promote safe, undistracted driving. But we really need to read and internalize these signs, unless they won't be doing their job. I'll leave you with one last bit of advice. Our actions become our habits, and our habits become our lifestyles. So let's not create lifestyles that end others. Thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to City Manager Michael Sturgeon.
Thank you, Piper. I'm going to wrap things up just real quick here. First off, in addition to Mayor Thurman, we have our Vice Mayor Scott Udi, and we have all the council members here today. We have, Council Member Mike Lester, we have Council Member Johnny Parks, and we have our newest council member, Deborah Wimpy. We also have members of our police department. We also have a number of members from city staff, mainly our operations division, who was responsible for actually coordinating, putting the signs together, making sure that they meet all the state requirements necessary to be able to post a sign, which, in a bureaucracy, you got to make sure you do things correctly, because we don't want to do things over. And so we made sure that we got all the appropriate approvals. Everything I do as a city manager, I think of three things. I think of vision, mission, and priorities. And the fact that we have so many council members here today, and we have so many members of staff, our school district, and we also have members of our chamber, which is our three-legged partnership, is everything we do about making sure we try to maintain or improve the quality of life that exists within this community. And we heard a candidate for governor yesterday talk about the high standards that Broken Arrow has, which is he'd like to emulate around the state, which really resonated with me. And when you look at, you have the support of the superintendent, and it turns out when I talked to Gail, I learned that her brother worked for me in another community as a firefighter, and her other brother was a good friend of mine that I knew through an acquaintance that I got to really know in a community I was in previously in Oklahoma. So it is a very small world, and we need to do whatever we can do to make sure that our children understand there's ramifications whenever they are on their smartphones. And I think by putting these signs, it's just one further step of saying that we're raising the standards for what we expect of ourselves as a community. And so on behalf of the administration, I want to thank the council members for their support. I want to thank the school district for their support of this endeavor. And most importantly, I want to thank Gail for bringing this to our attention. For no one will ever know what she suffered for the loss of her child, but the way she's given back and trying to educate the kids around the school districts in Oklahoma, we certainly want to thank you, Gail. And with that concludes the press conference, and we'll stick around to answer some questions. Thank you for coming, folks.